I want to start today with a question, and I want you to answer it honestly. Not for me, but for yourself. When did you last feel truly secure about your job? Not, I think I am okay. Not, my manager likes me. Genuinely, deeply secure. The way you used to feel when you first joined that company with the big brand name on the door. If that feeling has been harder to find lately, this video is for you. And if you feel completely secure right now, please stay. Because in the next 15 minutes, you will see your situation very differently. You have heard this sentence. Maybe at a dinner table. Maybe from your father. Maybe from a relative at a wedding who had very strong opinions about your career choices. कोई MNC ज्वाइन कर लो, फिर लाइफ सेट हो जाएगी. Join a big company. Life is sorted. Growth, security, stability, all in one package. This was not advice. This was doctrine. This was the formula that an entire generation of Indian middle class families built their hopes around. And for decades, it worked. A recognizable brand name on your resume meant a provident fund, annual increments, good marriage prospects, and the quiet pride of parents who could finally exhale. But here is the thing about formulas. They are built for a specific set of conditions. And when the conditions change, the formula breaks. In 2024 and 2025, something broke loudly. Let me put some numbers on the screen. Not from a research report. From LinkedIn posts that started appearing in your own feed. Byju's, once the most valued edtech company in India, backed by Sequoia, valued at $22 billion, laid off more than 50,000 employees. 50,000. Engineers, product managers, educators with MBAs and years of experience. The LinkedIn feeds of India's educated middle class filled overnight with posts that began, I have been impacted by recent layoffs and am actively looking for opportunities. IBM India announced thousands of role reductions. Their official reason, and I'm quoting directly, AI and automation. These were not junior roles. Many of those affected had 15, 20 years of tenure. They had done everything right. Joined early, performed well, climbed steadily, and still the company replaced their institutional knowledge with a language model. Paytm cut over 1,000 jobs in a single quarter. Wipro, InfoEdge, a dozen marquee Indian names followed with what they called workforce optimization. Corporate language for the deal you thought you had no longer exists. By mid-2025, over 2 lakh Indian tech professionals had been displaced in just 3 years. That is not a trend. That is a structural shift. Now I could just stop there and say, it is bad out there, be careful. But that is not useful to you. What I want to do instead is go one level deeper. Because behind these layoff numbers, there are 3 beliefs, 3 deeply held myths that made us more vulnerable than we ever needed to be. And if we can name them and bury them today, we can start building something more durable than a company's goodwill. Here are the 3 myths we need to put to rest. Myth number 1. Your company is loyal because you are loyal. This is the most painful one because it is based on a social contract that companies quietly dissolved without telling you. Today, every company runs quarterly performance reviews, AI capability assessments, and headcount audits on a rolling basis. Loyalty is not a shield. It is a sunk cost they will cheerfully walk away from when the numbers demand it. Myth number 2. A big brand name means big safety. Byju's had McKinsey alumni in its C-suite. It had funding from Sequoia and the Qatar Investment Authority. $22 billion of brand equity. And still, 50,000 people learned in the hardest possible way that brand equity and employee security are not the same thing. Myth number 3, and this is the most dangerous one. AI will only take low-skill jobs. The first wave of AI disruption in white-collar India has not hit factory workers. It has hit content writers, coders, financial analysts, HR professionals, junior consultants, exactly the roles that the Indian middle class spent lakhs of rupees and years of education preparing for. These 3 myths were not wrong in the past. They are catastrophically wrong for the present. Now I want to tell you a story. Not to inspire you in a vague, motivational poster kind of way, but to show you what real security actually looks like and how different it is from what we have been told to chase. 2008. Dipinder Goyal is a strategy consultant at Bain & Company, one of the most prestigious consulting firms in the world. He is well paid, respected, on a clear path upward. By every measure that our parents' generation used, he is set for life. He leaves. Not because Bain is failing him, not because he has been passed over for promotion. He leaves because he sees something Bain cannot give him. The ability to build something that is entirely, permanently his own. He and his friend Pankaj Chadda start uploading restaurant menus to a website late at night from inside the Bain office. No funding, no co-working space, no pitch deck, just a problem they can see and a conviction that they are the right people to solve it. In 2021, Zomato lists on the stock exchange. The company is valued at 65,000 crore rupees. Dipinder Goyal's personal stake is worth thousands of crore. But here's the number I want you to focus on. Not the crores. The question underneath the crores. What would a quarterly performance review have done to that wealth? Nothing. Because it was not borrowed. It was built. That is the difference between rented security and owned security. Dipinder chose own security, and that choice changed everything. The first wave of AI disruption in white-collar India has not hit factory workers. It has hit content writers, coders, financial analysts, HR professionals, junior consultants. Exactly the roles that the Indian middle class spent lakhs of rupees and years of education preparing for. These 3 myths were not wrong in the past. They are catastrophically wrong for the present. Dipinder's story is not an outlier. It is part of a pattern that the data, when you look at it honestly, makes impossible to ignore. Let us look at where wealth has been created in India in the last 10 years. Between 2015 and 2025, India created over 100 unicorns, companies valued at $1 billion or more. The founders of those companies, Kunal Shah of Cred, Ritesh Agarwal of Oyo, Ghazal Alag of Mama Earth, Nitin Kamath of Zerodha, Falguni Nair of Nykaa, they did not get there by being exceptional employees. They got there by choosing to own their work instead of renting their skills. The Indian startup ecosystem crossed $100 billion in cumulative funding. Millions of jobs were created. And the founders, many of whom were former corporate professionals, people like you and me, built wealth that no MNC salary could replicate in 10 lifetimes. In 2024 alone, Indian venture capitalists deployed over $10 billion. The capital is there, the markets are there, the tools are there. The question is, are you? I want to draw a distinction that I think is the most important shift you can make, not in your career, but in how you think about your career. There are 2 fundamentally different ways to move through professional life. One is the employee mindset. One is the builder mindset. And the gap between them is not about risk tolerance or talent or IQ. It is about the frame through which you see every opportunity and every problem. The employee mindset waits for a salary review to feel valued. It optimizes for job title and designation. It responds to urgency set by others. It fears the next performance review. And it places security entirely in someone else's hands. The builder mindset creates value and owns the outcome. It optimizes for skill, equity, and long-term compounding. It decides what is important and ignores what is noise. And it understands that the only security worth having is the kind you build yourself. Here is what I want to be clear about. You do not need to quit your job tomorrow to make the shift. The shift is not about quitting. It is about how you see. And that can change starting today. Now here is the counterintuitive truth that I want to leave you with. The same forces that are dismantling job security, AI, automation, rapid technological change, are simultaneously the greatest tailwinds for builders in the history of India. Let me explain what I mean. First, AI is not just a job killer. For the people who build, it is a force multiplier. A solo founder today using the right AI tools can do the work of a team of 10. The cost of building has collapsed. Second, distribution has never been cheaper. A LinkedIn post, a WhatsApp community, a simple no-code website. You can reach thousands of people who care about the exact problem you're solving for free this week. Third, capital is flowing. Indian VCs deployed over $10 billion in 2024. Investors are actively looking for founders with genuine insight and real traction. And fourth, markets are massive. 500 million internet users, Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities opening up to digital commerce, an aspirational middle class that is growing, not shrinking. The cost of not starting has never been higher. The cost of starting has never been lower. That is not a coincidence. That is a window. Here is what I want to be clear about. You do not need to quit your job tomorrow to make this shift. The shift is not about quitting. It is about how you see. And that can change starting today. There is a question I want to leave with you. It is uncomfortable. It is also the most important question a working professional can sit with right now. What would I build if I knew the safety net was already gone? Because it is. Not in a pessimistic way, in a liberating way. Because once you stop outsourcing your security to an employer, you start building it for yourself. And what you build, no quarterly review, no headcount audit, no AI model can ever take from you. That is real security, not the borrowed kind, the owned kind. Now, I do not want this to be a video you watch and feel something for 15 minutes and then forget by dinner. So let me give you 4 specific things you can do this week, not next month, this week. Number 1, write down the answer to this question. What problem do I see at work every single day that no one is solving well? Do not filter it. Do not judge it. Just write it down. Number 2, spend 30 minutes this week researching one Indian startup founder who came from the same industry background as you. Map how they started. Not the IPO story, the first step. Number 3, open a free Notion document tonight. Call it My Builder Journal. Write your first 3 observations about your industry. Things that frustrate you, things that feel broken, things customers complain about constantly. Number 4, join one entrepreneurship community this month. A local startup meetup, a LinkedIn group, a WhatsApp community. Show up once. That is all. Just once. None of these require you to quit your job. None require money. They require only one thing, that you begin to see yourself as someone who could build something, not just someone who works for someone who did. My Starter Circle is not just for people who are already building a company. It is for every working professional across India, in Nagpur, in Surat, in Coimbatore, in Guwahati, who has ever wondered if there is more to professional life than the path they are currently on. Practical frameworks, real Indian case studies, implementable guidance you can act on this week, not theory you will forget by tomorrow. This is an operator's view of the startup world. If today's video was useful, follow us on YouTube and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Connect with us on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/company/mystartercircle. Reach us on WhatsApp at 63788 Write to us at mystartercircle@gmail.com. Every founder journey starts with one decision. Let this video be yours.